Stefon Diggs visiting the New England Patriots. It was reported last night. Who had it first? Who had
me last week?
Chad Graff.
Chad Graff. I actually believe Chad Graff and Duke Castiglione put that up at exactly the same second. So I know Chad Graff will get a lot of that credit today because he's a Patriots beat writer, but tip of the cap to Duke Castiglione, who I think had it up at the exact same time.
Good job, Duke.
Duke getting the scoop.
Yep. Is he still down? He's not still down for him.
That's my boy. All right. So what do you think? How do you feel about it?
I love it, and there's things I'm very concerned about. I love it because of the name, and I just think he's a gamer. Just calling games against him. Like, the guy separates and he gets open and he competes, and he bitches when he doesn't get the ball because he wants the ball, and he's a diva.
I know, which is weird, really weird, because the Patriots don't like those guys. Tommy Curran reporting that the other day.
Well, too bad. Okay,
They're out on the guys that demand the ball.
Well, that's your own fault. Like, it's time to start, taking some chances here. You've loaded up on defense, and we keep saying weaponize the offense, weaponize it. This is how you have to weaponize it at times. You put yourself in a spot. You've won 8 freaking games in the last 2 years combined. You can't win at home anymore. Receivers can't get open. You got a good young quarterback. Let's get him a weapon. And I know, like, the thing I don't like is, okay, so he's not healthy and he can't develop and work out with Drake, for the next 4 months. So that, boom, they're ready to go and they got their timing down week 1. 31 coming off an ACL that was pretty much same time as Kendrick Bourne's. I think Bourne got hurt down in Miami, and you're just not really quite right until the following August, at least the end. And then you're still not yourself until about 4 weeks in. That's the risk. But you have no choice now. You need to start taking some risks.
A guy who will turn 32 this season, coming off a torn MCL, ACL. That's not ideal.
It's not.
It's not ideal.
I asked you 2 days ago,
not ideal.
What if it's Diggs?
But I like Diggs.
You said, that's good.
And when he's healthy, and I'm going to assume he is because I've seen the reports on his rehab, and it's going very well.
He's not a big guy.
So I like that. I mean, I'm going to assume that he's going to be ready to go at the start of the season,
right.
That he's going to make a great recovery like a lot of guys do now. And I'm going to assume that he's ready to go at the start of the year. So let's just assume that. Let's take that out of it for the time being. When he's playing well, he's a great player. He has all the tools you would want in a receiver. He's got them all. But he has shot his way out of 2 situations. One was in Minnesota. One was in Buffalo. He got out of both spots. Obviously, he's in a different place now. He needs teams to be looking at him more than the teams need to be looking at him.
Yeah, this is like the point too. I think with running backs and receivers, when you get older and you get into your 30s, you start looking at the odds. I mean, we talked about this with Brady hitting that wall. At some point, your speed goes, and when your speed goes, just say he's a 4.4 guy. He's probably still a 4.4 guy. If you run a 4.5, that's a big difference. Now you're not getting quite as open as you did.
He's a great route runner, though.
Fantastic route runner.
So that's why I think even if there's a speed element that's declining, he might be okay. So I'm not down. This is why I do think this is a good reason to look at him. Excellent route runner.
He's a better route runner than Metcalf.
Yeah,
but they're two totally different guys.
All right, so listen, if they land him, I will be happy, and I think it's a good move to make. Yeah. But I don't think it's a guy you can count on to be the same guy he was pre-injury. Like, I think you got to temper your expectations, but it will be the right thing for them. They absolutely should not let him leave the building. They should absolutely land this player. Here's the bigger picture problem with this, though. They're shopping in the bargain bin on everything now. They did it. They did their signings. They did their press conference, and now it's bargain bin time. Yeah. I said this a few days ago, and I think it's the case. And my fear is they are going to do with Stefon Diggs what they did with Cooper Kupp. We like him. We want him, but at our price.
That's what Vrabel talked about at the Combine.
Apparently, we're in on Cam Robinson, according to Phil Perry last night.
$14.5 million, 1-year deal.
They liked Cam Robinson enough to pursue him. But what? Did it get too expensive? What happened there? And by the way, I'm glad they didn't land Cam Robinson.
See, that's the point.
I'm happy. I'm happy they didn't land Cam Robinson. I think that's a waste of time.
You got to make the determination, like, how much better is he than Vidarian Lowe? And we're not the biggest Lowe fans, right? We know they need to upgrade that position. But, like, Reese sat in here, a week and a half ago with us and said he started watching some of these guys play, and he's like, they're not that good. He led the league in 64 64 pressures on the quarterback. I think he's tied with, like, DeMontre Jacobs on that. Do you want that combination? I'd rather have the receiver right now, and then you go draft Will Campbell if you have to. Like, that's where this thing's heading. I think that's where this thing's heading. And Vrabel said it's like going to buy a car, the shiny new car. Everybody wants the one car. But once that car's gone, you got to start looking at, plan B, step 2. And that's where you're at, whether you want to call it bargain basement or what. But you got to start taking some chances here. And this won't break you. This contract, whatever you're going to sign him to, that's not going to break you. It's not $150 million you're dealing with here.
Right.
And maybe he wants to play on one just to get another big deal down the road. Maybe he's at that point where he realizes that. You're not the same guy you were. But do you still want to play? And do you want to get paid? Go produce. My expectations are so low at the receiver position. This has been going on for 2 years now. And you look at his production. 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons prior to last year when he got hurt.
Yeah, it was on pace for another one. Yeah.
And you read his stats the other day. Okay, so what? It was 40 some catches, 43 or whatever? That would beat anybody here. Except Hunter Henry. You need production from the receiver position. You don't have it. Take the chance. Go get this guy. He's here. Don't let him leave the building, like you said.
Yeah, get him signed, but also don't stop at Stefon Diggs because it's not a short bet. It shouldn't stop you from signing another free agent, veteran, wide receiver. You mentioned Brandon Cooks a million times. If you sign Steph Diggs, you don't have to not sign Brandon Cooks. You can sign both of them. Because, again, you're now in the bargain bin. That's where you are. You're looking for deals.
Yeah.
We used to say the $5 DVD bin. The $5 DVD bin's not a thing anymore.
Five Below. You just got to go Five Below.
Five Below. You're going Five Below.
You get back scratchers. You get gum. You get candy. You get basketballs you can play with in the pool. It's a lot of fun.
That is true. They also have a Hutch-style football there.
Yep.
That is
tackified.
I think we've purchased maybe 10 of those over the years.
It's a good ball.
That's great. The old mini Hutch football,
it's sticky,
which they don't produce anymore. So there's only imitations. Dick's Sporting Goods has one too with their branding on it right now. $7.99.
Oh, really?
But they don't make the old school ones with
Hutch.
the
Hutch
logos?
doesn't exist anymore. No, it was a great product. They don't make those anymore, but Dick's Sporting Goods sells them right now too. Good. And I think theirs is a little closer to the shape of the original Hutch.
Oh. So it's more oblong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's actually
pointy.
It's every football is oblong.
But no, some of them are
it's fatter in the middle.
Skinny and pointy. Do you like it skinny and pointy? Like when you throw the football?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I like them more
How
oblong.
far could you throw a Hutch?
I was throwing about 55 yards last night.
Yeah.
Arms a little sore. Stadium, yeah. Broke out the old...
Still got it, huh?
Wing. Yeah, a couple ducks.
Still got it.
Yeah.
Zolak to Diggs?
55. Oh, that'd be nice. Shoot some guns.
Let's talk more about this, though.
Sign the guy.
This one feels like an easy one to get done. He made it here, but I also am going back to what Bert has told us and what Tommy Curran reported the other day. And is Drake May going to be okay? The Patriots are afraid to bring in receivers who demand the ball. And if that's true, what are they doing talking to Diggs? Because guess what? He's good and he wants the ball. This feels like a no-brainer. Sign the damn kid. Sign him, kid, guy. He's going to be 32. Sign him. Why is it Diggs and not DK Metcalf? Money. This guy's cheaper. Bargain bin. That's where they are. Can we just stick with Five Below from now on?
Yeah.
They're shopping from
Sure.
Five Below. I don't want to put down Five Below. I actually like the store.
Love it.
I'm a
Smells
fan.
good there, too.
Yeah. And I think, they're not shying away from their cheap goods because their whole name is Five Below.
Yeah. They got those 3-foot-long pixie sticks.
My kids love that.
Oh, my God.
The whole candy section there.
5 below, as in the Patriots will be 5 below 500.
Yeah, that's about right.
5 below your
Yeah.
face.
5 below, as in
Damn, you
they've
got
been
me.
below 5 wins for 2 years running.
Oh,
That too. And now that's where they shop. They're shopping in the, what are we calling it?
the bargain bin.
We're called the ball bin.
The ball bin.
The old ball bin.
Grab and go.
If you go into the 5 below, you go like towards the back right in my 5 below. I could stop at the one in Braintree from time to time. You go in back into the right.
Down there.
Right in there.
Wish they sold pool chemicals.
Right in there. No, Ocean State for that.
Oh, I love that.
Zoe and I know where all the good deals are.
Yeah.
All right.
You got to get the pucks.
We should do a deal segment. Dills, as Zoe would
that.
say.
Yeah.
Do a dills segment.
Yeah.
Stills and Dills?
Stills and dills.
Oh, no, I hate that show. Oh, yeah. We ran that place into the
Oh,
ground.
no. R.I.P. Rest in peace.
I drove by it
Christmas
last.
tree shops. I'll tell you what was the great deal there. Patio umbrellas. Christmas tree shops. Best place to buy them.
Yeah?
I shed a tear when they closed.
Real stained glass and everything, and it's only $6.99.
I drove by it in the Cape last week, and just that big windmill and that empty building.
Big
I'm like,
Spirit Halloween sign
Oh.
out front.
every seasonal. It's so seasonal. You get the nice Christmas decorations.
Well, that's where the
nutcrackers.
Patriots like to do their shopping.
Yeah.
We love a good deal. So do they. They love it a little too much. The same way I would say, why would I buy a $125 patio umbrella when I can go buy a new one every year for $29?
Yeah. The first windstorm, you know it's going to snap.
Right. I just had it happen
my
when
God.
that wind we had last week. I lost one. I think I got bent.
This
So-
mirror looks like it's worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
And look at it, $19.
This
$1 billion bucks.
receiver looks like a receiver that would be 6 years and $150. But why do that when you can go out and get Diggs 1 year, trying to rehab, trying to prove his worth, trying to get back out on the market? Why would I do that? I'm getting a Diggs. I'm not getting a Metcalf because I love a bargain. Come on, T-Bone, hit it. Don't you just love a bargain? Yeah, the Patriots love a bargain. Don't you just love a bargain? They had the press conference. It's over. That's why they're going after Diggs. But at the end of the day, good player. Hope he's still able to produce at the level he was pre-injury. I hope they do it. And if they don't, get ready to hear that it was all about his medicals.
Yeah.
And if they don't sign him this week and they wait it out for the price to come down, shame on them.
Well, I mean, it should even be before the price. Like, if you're so worried about Drake May and your second-year quarterback and not developing with him, then you should have never been in on this guy. The fact you're in on this guy, like, don't let him leave the building now. That means you don't care about that other stuff. Yeah, you do, but, oh, crap, we got Stefon Diggs sitting out there. We could get him. Do it. You think they sign him? I bet they do.
I'm not convinced of it yet because I think two things could happen. One, maybe they legitimately look at medicals and say, we're not totally sure on this. And B, they just don't like the price. What if he's asking for, let me look up his salaries. I should have done this prior to the show. My apologies. What was he making last year? Scott Zolak.
I don't think he was
you know?
making that much. I bet it was about $18 million for him down in Texans.
But I would imagine he's going to want, even if it's a prove-it deal, Cooper
Yeah.
Cup money, 1 year, $15 million, something like that.
What the hell what Devontae get? It was a 2-year deal, right?
Yeah.
No, with the Rams. Like, okay. Like, you still want to be respected somewhat. Like, he's not coming in for chump change.
Right.
Brandon Cooks, you could get him on the dirt cheap. If you really want to go to the other store down the street.
His earnings is APY football guy.
That's good.
APY football guy coming in at $22.3 million last year.
That'll be lower than that.
The deal he was on in Buffalo was, 4 years and was a lot of money. Was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I just remember those games, too, like going into it. Like McCourty and those guys, the corners talking about, like, yeah, he's tough to cover.
He used to kill the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
That
Oh.
in cut to the left in the post. All day. Wide open. And you got a guy could stand in there and gun it to him. That's
Yeah.
sort of like what Mahomes did with Tyreek Hill when they were rolling.
4 years, $96 million is what he had signed for in Buffalo when he signed that deal. And he was at the end of it, coming up on the end of it. So anyway, Bills ate money to move on from him.
Yep.
And he's out there. And, yeah, like I said, what if he asked for 15? Because that's a pretty significant pay cut from where he was.
You mean if he asked for it?
Yeah, if he's asking for $15 million.
That means he wants to be here then. That means you sign him. Because if he's going to play hardball and say, yeah, I'm not coming there for less than 20. No. You termed it as if he's asking for 15, that's lowering his price.
Okay, 1 year and
prove it.
1 year and $15 million is what Odell Beckham Jr. got coming off injury 2 years ago in Baltimore.
All right, so then, no, he's probably going to be 1 year 20 then, I would think. It's not going to be 15.
Okay, man,
he's got more
just
to tank than
ACL.
All right, let's split the diff. 17 and a half.
Yeah.
1 year, 17.5 million. Oh, we don't like that. I mean, and then you're right. It's a 1 year deal is probably a $20 million deal because it's not a 2 year deal.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it's like what I said. This is not a contract that's going to kill you if it doesn't work out.
No kidding. No contract will kill them.
No.
They've got 80-something million in cap space right now and plenty of money to spend.
McColl's got him in a Super Bowl next year.
I mean, they haven't spent for a decade.
No, they haven't.
But, again, but he might cost too much.
Well, I never want to hear about the culture stuff again. This is a guy that shot his way out of Minnesota because he didn't like the run-first offense and talked about how he wasn't getting the ball, and now you're bringing him in on a prove-it deal. Is he going to be thrilled, by the way, if he's trying to get that next big contract, if you're not giving him the ball?
Randy Moss shot his way out of places. This is what these guys do.
So, we're not going to pick up the phone for DK Metcalf or Devontae Adams, but we are for the guy coming off the ACL?
Why? What's the difference between DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, and Stefon Diggs?
Money.
And you offered the most to the guy that had a dislocated ankle.
Devontae Adams, asked out of Green Bay, asked out of Vegas, I think. Kind of was done with Vegas, wanted to get to New York.
That's great.
DK Metcalf asked out of Seattle. Stefon Diggs asked out of Minnesota. What's the difference, guys?
They're all the same.
It's not culture.
No, it's not. It's not the culture. It's their salaries. That's the difference. That's the diff. The money. That's all it is.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.